agent.
Look at
Your
mine.
serious face. Seriously. Close up.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Originals again, our Serious Sunday edition.
It is very serious.
Good morning, Marie. How you doing this week?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Oh, I got something to address right off the hop. Okay. I got an email from somebody who took the time to look up my actual email address and said that I didn't really go to St. FX University.
Oh, where did you? Well,
Okay, I got a proof here. I didn't pick up this bad boy. Okay, see this?
There it is.
I didn't pick up this bad boy at a pawn shop. All right, so let's get that right off the top. Okay, done.
That's good. But imagine somebody seeking you out to say, I don't believe you. I don't think you're educated. I think you have too much time on your hands to be looking up personal emails and trying to disgrace people when you're the disgrace.
Right?
People are astounding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to find a task for them because they got too much time free. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a big show, right? So we had a lot of shit go down. So So girls, I'm just like you do your thing.
All right. So guys, as our shows, we've always continued to do, it's like if you don't watch the week before, you may not know what's going on the next week after, because we've got a series going here, and it's just like a drama on soap opera. This shit we can't make it up. So we went through the article, and we've got a lot to talk about. This week, we're kind of centered on a bit about Barbucci. So let's see what's going on with him and all his buddies. All right. Go ahead, Marie.
All right.
Novaport Partner and Hot Water is first.
Yep, June 16th, 2021. Good old Mary Campbell, she wrote again. This is going to be a story about CBRM Council meeting in secret with Albert Barbucci of Sydney Harbour Investment Partners, SHIP, yesterday. Then, during the regular meeting last night, approving a 3-year extension to Barbucci's exclusive contract with the municipality. I've removed the SHIP exclusivity countdown clock from the home page. Counting down for 3 years just seems sad.
Right.
So I had actually written that I was ready to give up on this story, to surrender to the persuasive powers of Barbucci, who had convinced yet another CBRM council, with 2 notable exceptions, Deputy Mayor Erlene McMullen and District 6 Councillor Glenn Perouche, that he is in the process of bringing a $1 billion container terminal to the Sydney Harbour and needs a 3-year extension to his exclusivity contract to make up for time lost due to COVID. I was ready to accept District 7 Councillor Steve Parsons' reasoning that Barbucci services are not costing the CBRM anything, and if he could bring a shipper to the table in the next 3 years, more power to him. But during the debate, Mayor Amanda McDougall stated that her only real reason for supporting the extension was Member 2's involvement as an equity partner in Novaport, which reminded me that the last time I checked the Quebec Business Registry, where Novaport LP is registered, Member 2 was not a listed partner. So I looked it up and discovered that Member 2 and Toronto-based Bridging Financing Inc., BFI, both of whom were announced as consortium partners in February 2019, are now listed in the registry. And you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then in a plot twist, I am embarrassed to say I missed completely, I discovered that Bridging Finance Inc. was placed under the control of a receiver, PricewaterhouseCoopers, on April 30th, following allegations by the Ontario Securities Commission, OSC, none of which have yet been proven in court, that Bridging and CEO David Sharp improperly used investor funds to benefit some of its founders and executives.
Isn't that ironic? That she is part of a consortium that has got things going on in Quebec, a totally different province, that makes him look like a shady shyster. Is that
He
about
is
right?
a shady shyster. It's
Right.
not that
Definitely that.
it's not that he. Oh, I might get in trouble for it, but he. Okay, this guy. Are we talking Barbucci?
We're talking Barbucci.
Well,
Is
yeah.
convicted.
Right.
He was convicted.
And
I
there's
didn't think he was, but
This was
Oh,
just one of
He's a felon.
morning, Sasha. Morning, Laurel. Morning, Deborah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So yeah,
they're saying, Mary says, none of which has yet been proved in court about the Ontario Securities Commission.
Okay.
But that's about the David Sharp, right? He improperly used investor funds to benefit some of its founders and executives. David
Yeah.
Sharp is the gentleman's picture we have below there. If you have that up there, I don't know, Janet. But anyways, that would be the same David Sharp quoted by the St. John's Telegram back in February 2019. We see tremendous potential in this project, and we think it has wide-reaching benefits to Member 2 and all 13 Mi'kmaq communities, as well as for the entire province of Nova Scotia, said David Sharp, CEO of Bridging Finance and a member of the Mohawks of the Bay Quint, in a press release. We look forward to our partnership with SHIP. That was David's little quote back then.
Oh, he's a
Now,
sweet
Sharp
fella.
founded, what's that?
He's a sweet fella.
aren't they all? Yeah.
Sharp founded Bridging, which has $2 billion in assets under management in 2012 with his wife, Natasha, who served as Chief Investment Officer. According to the Globe, the firm got its start providing alternative lending, known as bridge loans, to middle market companies considered too risky for traditional bank financing. Bridging was at the forefront of a decade-long trend in which wealthy individuals and constitutional investors deployed their capital to private debt funds, which offered better yields.
He was a loan shark for businesses.
Exactly.
No, he was in gaming. That's what he.
No, we're talking about not talking about Barbucci right now.
This is David Sharp. Yes, that's the thing. This is where it gets confusing, guys. This is where trying to keep it all straight is hard. But David Sharp and Barbucci are both in this article, right? And I know that we're right on Barbucci, but David Sharp also has quite a bit to do with what's going on here.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
he's the financier.
Yes,
That's
and we know you're going to find out about our financier in a moment here, which offered better yields than those of government and corporate bonds. As the company's clout grew, so did the profile of Mr. Sharp, who has been an outspoken advocate for Canadian Indigenous communities through philanthropy, public speaking, and by providing capital to First Nation projects. That sounds great to me. It all sounds good, but there's lots in this business press about this scandal, hence my embarrassment at missing it. You can start with this article from the Globe and Mail, then move to the BNN Bloomberg's coverage, as well as that of the Financial Post. But I will try to break it down, the OSC's main allegations for you.
Ontario Securities Commission. Yeah, go for it.
Back to back. First, the regulator alleges that Bridging misappropriated $35 million from an investment fund it manages to complete an acquisition for its own benefit.
Stop. I got to jump in here. My word for the week. Okay.
Yeah.
My word for the week is misappropriated. Okay.
Okay. Love that.
This week's show it is.
Okay. In this context, it means embezzling. Okay.
Exactly.
And if you want to take embezzling just a little step further for all the folks out there, that means stealing.
It does. Yes. It does. A thief. Okay. All right.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
All right. So BNN Bloomberg fleshes this out, explaining this was a deal involving M. Jardin, a Canadian cannabis company.
Okay.
M. Jardin frequently turned to Bridging Finance since 2017 when it needed funds to acquire two small cannabis companies, as well as to build a new cultivation facility in Manitoba.
Mm-hmm.
The company initially borrowed about $30 million. Its debt to Bridging Finance eventually ballooned to $155.8 million as it attempted to better compete in Canada's burgeoning legal cannabis market. According to OSC staff, allegations that have not been proven yet, former Bridging Finance Chief Executive Officer David Sharp and his wife Natasha, who was Chief Investment officer at the
Otherwise
firm,
known as Tasha.
asked M. Jardin's then CEO Rishi Gautam to accept a $35 million loan secured against the pot producer's assets. Those funds were then allegedly lent back to bridging finance to buy out 9 Point Partners, a Bay Street firm that was looking to end its ties with the lender in October 2018.
Okay.
An OSC official has alleged that the so-called back-to-back arrangement was not properly disclosed and that the $35 million loan was appropriated from the bridging finance investment funds.
Stop. All right. Put that up in a simpler way, Rod.
Okay. It's quite. You're supposed to you're supposed to reveal all business deals, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So this is simply a backroom deal. Broke the rules.
All right.
Yeah. The long and short of it, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm not too happy with the fact of this. The backroom deal is just that, the loan that is being loaned to the, This is a complicated story with a weird little Nova Scotia connection. According to OSC forensic accountant Daniel Tarango's April 29th affidavit, BFI claimed it obtained $35 million to close the 9 Point transaction from a loan, the 891 loan, from 3319891 Nova Scotia Company. 891 Nova Scotia, a holding company owned and controlled by Rishi Gautam. At this time, Gautam was the CEO of the loan counterparties, collectively the M. Jardin Group, with over $100 million in outstanding loans from the BFI fund.
Yep.
Gautam, who left M. Jardin in 2019, told Tarango that 3319891 Nova Scotia is a holding company set up for tax planning and has no physical presence, operations, or bank accounts. M. Jardin has since retained a restructuring firm to review a potential sale of assets.
Go ahead.
Second, the regulator alleges that David Sharp received approximately $19.5 million in undisclosed payments into his personal checking account from a company owned and controlled by an individual during the same period that BFI loaned over $100 million to other companies connected to the same individual.
Why aren't we naming this individual? I don't like using the word individual. I'd sooner see the individual's name. Okay.
Tarango identified the individual as entrepreneur Sean McCoshen.
There we go.
Founder and chairman of the Alaskan Alberta Railway Development Corporation, A2A Railway.
So here's where the railway comes into Cape Breton again. So it's been
there you go.
Rich. Okay, let's go.
Be right back.
Okay. According to an affidavit sworn by OSC, forensic accountant Daniel Tarango, much of the undisclosed money was moved into David Sharp's investment account at Bank of Montreal and Richardson's GMP, at least Canadian $1.5 million. Appears to have been later transferred offshore. Imagine this. So,
1.4, yeah.
This is getting annoying.
So,
poor Rod. Yeah, go ahead.
Keep going.
About $128 million was paid to a unit of Tesla Inc. and almost $100 million.
No,
it's 100,000. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
And almost $100,000 to a car leasing company, which Tarango believes was used to lease a 2013 Bentley GTC Mulliner and a 2018 Bentley Bentayga. The affidavit states about $830,000 was used for donations, including to Ontario's Queen's University.
Okay, go ahead, Rod.
Okay, so these guys took the investors' funds, right? Okay, and they leased Bentleys.
I love it. Sounds exactly like what we joke that they do.
No, this is
we
it.
Laugh about this, but they do this.
Yeah, they took the money from investors, okay, who invest in their company instead of putting it into stocks, bonds, blah 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 blah.
Their money grow.
Business. Guess what they do? They went out and leased the highest end cars they could for themselves.
Well, what did you expect them to do, Rod? I'm sorry to play Janet's part here. What did you expect them to do, Rod? Get a cab or something?
Okay. So this goes back to a lot of stuff you see around here, which is one of my big.
Oh yeah.
Is that
really, you look at the high end cars and go, wow, that must be nice.
Okay, I'm going to say it, and people are going to. This is going to be controversial. Okay,
Yeah.
the people that are driving the Mercedes and the Jags and the Porsches and the BMWs around here can be broken down into two people, and they're not very unlike one another. So there's two sets of people that get these cars. Okay,
Right.
in Cape Breton, if you own a Mercedes, BMW, Jaguar, or whatever the hell
The big highest end.
whatever, you can be broken down into two things. You're either connected to the business world and the people that are involved in the shady deals here in Cape Breton, right? Or you're a drug dealer. There you go.
Or no, there's a third group because I know one. There's a third group. You want to look like you're high end, but you're not.
That's it.
There's a third group.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because
willing to go into hawk and debt. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what these people actually do. Because Rhonda can actually address this a bit more. Is to fit in, you got to look like you fit in.
Right.
So you lease the BMWs, and even though you can't afford them, you lease these cars so that you look like you're part of that world.
If you actually have money, you're friggin' driving a Hyundai.
Yeah, if you actually have money, you're driving a Hyundai.
Or a Ford, because they're affordable.
Fords are not affordable.
Yeah, because there's I don't want to get into this because we got so much, Marie, and I know you're chomping at the bit to go through this.
Not at all. Go ahead.
We know a guy here in Cape Breton that's old money. I mean, really old money.
Old money.
And you know what he drives? What does he drive? I think he drives a Volkswagen. And this guy has
sensible car.
Yeah, this guy has more money. It's just a Jetta. This guy has more money than Marty Chernin and all of them combined, right? But the key here is he doesn't want to bring attention to himself.
Right. I find that too. Right. I often think that. Yeah.
But
those that have a lot really don't want attention.
Not very many that have money around here that are trying to stay reclusive. But there are some. You're right, Rod. And he is an exception to the rule. That fella. He's a one-off.
Yeah, he's smart. Why do you want people to know you have money? You're
going to have a lot of people after you for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The only reason you want people to know that is because you're trying to rub it in their face, or you're trying to one-up them, or you're trying to schmooze or, woo them. That's why.
To me, you don't know any better.
That's right. That's a good point, too.
Okay, enough with me.
Back to the file.
All right. OSC investigators spoke to Sharp on the 27th of October 2020 about his relationship with Makoshin, and according to Tarango, on November 2nd, Sharp closed his Bank of Montreal account.
Oh.
In a June 9th filing, receiver PwC said 34,200 emails have been deleted from the bridging company server that it had identified a number of issues
breaking the law too.
Relating to the company's relationship with the AARDC, which is BNN Bloomberg characterized as bridging's top client, with $316.6 million exposure as of March 31st.
Yeah.
That AARDC's legal counsel and some of its management team had resigned, and that PwC's legal counsel had been unable to arrange a conversation with Makoshin due to medical circumstances.
Bullshit.
Hell, COVID's a good reason.
Probably stress. A bit of stress.
I smell bullshit in there. One of these bridging partners is member 2, and it's Barbucci. And these people lead to us. So that's why we're talking about this. That probably doesn't make sense to y'all. But because these other companies are, financially holding big dollars to other companies that are doing business in CBRM that are going to make our waterfront and everything else better, well, let's see what happens.
No, and even more importantly there, Janet, if I could jump in again, is that bridging is actually the key financier for SHIP and for this project.
Yes, that's the biggest thing I've got going on in my mind anyway.
Yeah, there's no money here.
How is this going to work? How is this going to work when this guy's gone to court and he's lost all of his assets and everything by the end of everything?
I think we're coming to a more important point there in the article. If you keep going, you'll see.
Here's Ing. Finally, according to court documents, the OSC alleges that during the same period that a different individual was negotiating to purchase half of BFI, BFI loaned companies owned by that individual almost $100 million, including $32 million 2 weeks before the acquisition closed. The IV, it appears that BFI did not make complete or timely disclosure of the above investors in the BFI fund. Tarangu identified this individual as Gary Ying, the former owner of Vancouver-based money manager PI Financial, who bought 50% of Bridging in 2019 for $50 million. Ying, according to the Globe and Mail, is no longer a co-owner of Bridging.
Yeah, he got out of there.
In 2020, the Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of Canada alleges that he forged documents to make it look like his trading accounts held far more than they actually did, and also alleged that those forged statements were offered up as collateral to lenders that backed his investment in a money manager, which the Globe later identified as Bridging.
There you go.
And let's just see where this partnership is going, because it's getting better. Let's see.
Yep. Relationship.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
So
PwC.
PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Thank you, Janet. I can't, immediately fired the sharps. With the receiver in charge, Bridging cannot issue or redeem any units of its investment funds, which means investors' money is effectively frozen.
That's important.
It is. That's very important.
It's important because we just signed a 3-year agreement to continue working with Barbucci, the shady shyster. So now we're going to allow more of our money to go somewheres, and we'll get results of nothing.
Stop. I'm going to jump in here. What's important here, Janet, if we could, I don't mean to stop you and stuff because I know you're rolling.
Go ahead.
Is that okay, bridge financing, okay? They were the people that were actually going to supply the money that the project could happen.
Right. For Barbucci's project, okay.
Yeah, so now, guess what?
He's got no money because it's frozen.
Frozen. So that means there's no money for Barbucci or the project to happen.
Right.
It's over.
But as you said, Janet, now we're stuck with this for 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and see what happened. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so where are we at here?
With the receiver in charge?
Frozen.
Yeah, with the receiver in charge, Bridging cannot issue or redeem any units of its investment funds, which means investors' money is effectively frozen. A group of Bridging unit holders, as they're known, are not happy with the state of affairs and have called upon the OSC and the PwC to establish an orderly and transparent sale of Bridging and or its funds, given the multiple credible expressions of interest received to date, and the need to protect the interests of Bridging's unit holders. Sorry, guys, I've got marbles in my mouth today.
No, you're doing good.
Okay, so the unit holders claim multiple third parties have come forward with credible expressions of interest, which PwC is ignoring because it wants to continue the receivership to collect fees. The unit holders, I almost wrote unit heads, say the funds were audited by KPMG for the period ended December 31st, 2020, and the portfolio was found to be performing well. The funds have assets under the management of approximately $2 billion and hold an estimated $300 million cash position. Given the OSC's mandate of investor protection, we urge the OSC to mandate an orderly bridging sales process to protect investors.
So they're gone bankrupt and they're liquidated.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is interesting in light of the theory Andrew McCreath of Forge First Asset Management shared with BNN Bloomberg shortly after the Ontario court appointed PwC as Bridging's receiver.
Yeah.
McCreath said that while the media was focused on the alleged misappropriation of funds at Bridging, what I'd like to speak to you about today is my view that it is likely that the net asset values of the funds, in other words, the prices of the funds, were fudged. Now, again, these are allegations that in this case I'm making, but I believe that the allegations submitted by the chief investigator of the OSC are very supportive of my statement.
Yeah, so they lied about the money that they said they had. So this money that they were going to use for the projects never existed.
Yeah.
No,
basically.
it's crazy to me. Okay, so watch the video and you'll see that McCreath makes a pretty convincing case. A group of 25,000 bridging unit holders has now hired lawyers. Yeah, really, who have asked an Ontario court to allow them to represent those unit
Lawyers
holders
always make money.
amid an investigation into the troubled Toronto-based private lender by Canada's top capital market regulator.
There you go.
Good.
We basically just made Cape Breton Island look like the stupidest place in the world if we've actually hung our hat on these people's coat
Yeah.
racks.
Well,
Nuts.
well, I got a point about that I'm going to bring up later when we hit the other
Okay,
end.
good enough.
Because it's a really
and on
cute
June
thing.
9th, okay. On June 9th, PwC also announced that it's planning to launch a rigorous sales and investor solicitation process in which some or all of Bridging's loans and assets could be scooped up, according to BNN. The process is subject to court approval.
Yeah.
Bridging went into receivership on April 30th.
Okay.
Albert Barbucci has
Go. Yeah.
Albert Barbucci has had 2 in-camera meetings with CBRM counsel since that time. Has he mentioned the spot of bother between his partner and the OSC to the CBRM counsel?
Freeze.
No.
Now, if he's in there, Barbucci's in our CBRM council after going through all these allegations of misappropriation of funds and money that doesn't exist, and now he's in here pitching our council on he's going to make our waterfront, our area better. What a pile of shit!
Well, the thing is I'm going to actually.
Pile of shit.
I want to get to the other one, but the timeline is really important for people to realize, and you hit right on it. Your instincts are good.
Okay.
All right, so do they know how much SHIP has borrowed from Bridging Finance Inc. and on what terms? Has Barbucci briefed them on the possible ramifications of a rigorous PwC sales and investor solicitation process or sale of Bridging and its funds?
No.
The SHIP show, which I thought was going to be a snore quest, was another 3 seasons, just got interesting again, says Mary Campbell.
Right? The ship show's turned into a real shit show.
God. This is crazy, right, guys? Okay, so I don't know. To me, this has all been just a little bit nuts. I can't believe that it's right in front of our faces, and that it's almost like they are treating us so stupid. Like, you people are all so dumb. It doesn't matter. We can do this right in front of your eyes.
Like they do, okay? I'm reading it right now. What are you talking about? I know what's going on, Marie. Jesus.
No,
even more importantly,
okay? Like, here's the thing. Like, if you go to buy a car or a used truck, or let's say you're going to buy a used truck from a buddy down the road, okay?
Yeah.
You look. You ask everything. You look it over. You look at the frame. You look at the motor. You look at the mileage. You know, like you take it for a test drive. You find out everything about the truck you can. You find everything about the guy that's selling it to you. At least that's the way I do things. All right.
If you're smart, you do it.
Yeah. Anyway, but do you think that our council looked into all the background about Barbucci and about the people that are financing this guy and about everything?
It seems they should have.
Yeah, no, that's their job. No, it's not that they should have. It's their job to do that.
So they're taking word of mouth from somebody that these are reputable people.
No, they took Barbucci at face value.
That's it.
Look
you
at
hit the nail on the head again. That's exactly it. Without doing I'm going to say it, and people are going to flip on me. Without doing their jobs, they entered the CBRM into a deal that's not going to work. They tied us to a criminal.
Yes, right?
Two criminals.
There's quite the theme going here. Theme. Keep going, Marie.
Do your thing, Marie.
Do it. All right. Well, what we're going to do is go into the next article now.
It's
called
Peter Mary Campbell. We love her.
Yeah, Fast and Curious, short takes on random things. I always love these because she definitely sums things up nicely, right? She's generally somebody who can put everything together sweet for us. So Mary makes a meme and how it started. Love this. I don't know.
Me too.
Food court, apartment, pub plan for vacant Sydney building, originally home for the Cape Breton Post. And you show a lovely picture of that dilapidated looking building. How it's going. former Cape Breton Post building up for sale again. I find this really ridiculous. Okay, on the bright side, having let it sit empty for 2 years and catch fire once, the entrepreneurs who had bought the building for $225,000 are hoping now to sell it for $399,000.
Yeah, I bought it as a whole building. It's now yucky and disgusting inside, but now I want almost double the money. Thanks, dum-dums. Okay.
I've never seen the likes of anything so brash. Mary makes another meme. How it started. Derelict Sydney train station back on track. How it's going. Cape Breton apartment building construction slowed down, but not derailed, says owner. Rap sheet. Writing about the allegations against bridging financing this week got me thinking about other ethical issues bobbing in the wake of our container terminal scheme.
Right.
In case you missed it, Bridging, which has partnered with Member 2 and Sydney Harbour Investment Partners, SHIP, in the Novaport Container Terminal project, has been in receivership since April 30th, pending the results of an Ontario Securities Commission investigation into allegations of misappropriation of funds.
Yeah.
And
remember misappropriation.
So he's being charged with misappropriation of funds by the Ontario Securities Commission, because I'm sure the Ontario Securities Commission is, I mean, they're like flies on your windshield. They're no big deal, right? I mean, he brokered a 3-year deal with Barbucci, who's in the middle of a big fraud.
OSC, the Ontario Securities Commission, has a bigger investigative staff than the federal investigative system.
Exactly. It's a huge, huge federal crime.
No, it's a provincial crime, but
is it provincial crime? Okay. So, Bridging founders. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just saying.
Okay. Bridging founders, David and Natasha Sharp, the erstwhile CEO and chief investment officer of the company, have been fired by the receiver, PricewaterhouseCoopers. And what this will mean for projects like Novaport, let alone for Bridging's investors, remains to be seen. I hope to have something more to say in next Wednesday's edition. She always gives me something like to look forward to. I just love it. All right. Interestingly, if the Sharps are eventually found guilty of the charges against them, it will be just the latest and most serious legal or regulatory or ethical issue associated with our container port project. How much more dirty can this get?
Why are we having so many newspaper articles straight across Canada now about our port here in Sydney if it's so ethical and being done properly?
It's
this
not.
doesn't make sense.
It's amateur hour.
It's been proven it's not now, like in every which way and shape and form, and yet they still continue on with this. I've got real questions for our present council and mayor. This is crazy. What is going on back there?
Exactly, Marie Anderson. It's a game of Monopoly. Everyone's going past go, collecting money and not going to jail.
Yeah, but then, here's the thing, girls. Like, like Steve Parsons, he talked about, well, we're not investing any money. Like, Barbucci is out there, he's not, CBRM isn't paying any money. But there's an old adage, guess what? Time is money. Time is money. And we're wasting time with Barbucci and this crew of goofs. And I just talk like I was out west. They're a bunch of goofs. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. So you may recall that Albert Barbucci, principal of SHIP, was fined $60,000 by the Autorité des Marchés Financiers, the AMF, Quebec's financial sector regulator, in 2014.
Wait, he's not in Ontario anymore. Now he's being fined.
Now he's in Quebec.
Okay.
This goes back years.
Okay.
2014 to be exact. So the press release announcing the charges explained Albert Barbucci is facing 5 charges and $52,000 fine for aiding Cadence Holdings, Inc., of which he is the majority shareholder and president, with illegal distributions of shares of Biotectonics, Inc., carrying on business as a securities dealer without being registered with the AMF and soliciting investors.
So he doesn't even have a license to sell these things, and he's selling them because he's Barbucci and he does what he wants. Just listen to me.
I don't know.
Okay. The AMF is filing 2 charges and also seeking a $40,000 fine against Cadence Holdings, Inc. for the illegal distribution of shares of Biotonic, Inc. I don't know. There was an article back in April about Biotonics Inc. we were going to read today, but we won't have enough time probably. But my God, that's another one. Because it ties this into that and into that and into this. And oh, my Lord.
It's just good.
In the end, Barbucci pleaded guilty to one charge of a distribution without a prospectus. A conditional stay of proceedings was issued with respect to the 4 other charges against him.
Okay.
Judge Sylvie Kovacevic ratified the joint sentencing recommendation of the parties, namely an amount of $20,000, which is 4 times the minimum penalty set by law.
That's important. Okay.
Yeah.
So usually in these cases, right, like they get off, it's like they get off easy. All right.
Yeah.
But this time they went out of the I don't know I can't speak French very well, especially this morning. But the Quebec Regulatory Commission, which is the same as the Ontario Regulatory Commission, went out of their way to fine Albert Barbucci 3 times the amount of what the fine is.
That's trying to set a precedent.
Yeah.
And try to explain to people that we mean business with this guy. He is not to be trusted. Right?
Yeah.
Is that not what that says to anybody else? Am I going to get in trouble for saying it? But I'm telling you.
No, that's a big red blinking light with a horn. Yeah.
Fined by a regulatory commission for doing shady shit? Oh, no, you're not trusted.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It should shoot your credibility right to hell.
Right.
Okay.
It should, but we're going to find out how we all have people here who feel they're still good. Cadence Holdings, Inc., of which Albert Barbucci is the president, secretary, sole director, and majority shareholder, pleaded guilty to 2 charges of making distributions without a prospectus, right?
Yeah.
Judge Kovacevic ratified the joint sentencing recommendation of the parties, namely a total of $40,000, which is 4 times the minimum penalty set by law for each charge, as I said earlier. Sorry, guys. Asked about the fine by the Cape Breton Post in 2015,
oh my God.
Barbucci's partner, Barry Sheehy, brushed it off. In an interview Monday, Sheehy said he believed the issue with the Securities Commission was administrative and Barbucci had disclosed it to municipal officials.
What year did we send Sheehy and Barbucci on all this? Was it 2018 they were on this worldwide board of ports? We're going to have to look that up, but it was after this for sure. It was certainly after 2015. So we gave them $2,500 each every single day of the year for 18 months for over $1 million. Crooks! Holy Jesus. I want to punch Cecil Clark right in the face for this.
Oh my God.
You got to find Cecil first. Nobody knows where he is.
Oh God, don't even get me started. I got all these theories in my head. I swear to God, I go to sleep. I've got to get more of a hobby.
Where's Cecil? Where the hell is he?
These things keep me awake at night lately just because it is interesting. It's quite the mystery.
It's where Cecil. All right, so it's important about who made this decision to bring Barbucci in for 3 years. Let's bring that point up because that person had the worst intentions for Cape Breton, had the best intentions for the oligarchs, is what they did. So let's go ahead and see what else Mary found out. I see the name here, our favorite name.
Yes, coming up. All right, so have we got Rob back here yet? I'm sure he's going to want to hear this part.
Go ahead.
Port of Sydney CEO Marlene Usher was equally unconcerned.
Oh, that one.
Wait, do you imagine her being unconcerned? Her being unconcerned because she worked with KPMG, and just 2 weeks ago we had an article from CBC News about KPMG themselves being investigated for shady dealings. Now, KPMG is where Marlene Usher got her start from, and they are in the newspaper for being under investigation right now.
Let's see what wisdom Marlene's going to say about this.
Oh, it's beauty.
Let's just see.
Marlene says, there were good explanations, and we didn't feel that in any way that jeopardized our project. We didn't feel that it impacted our relationship in terms of the development.
Goodness, we didn't have any ethics or integrity in our project anyway, so we don't care about integrity or ethics. We're good with that.
So she says, we knew that would become a matter of public record. With the internet today, there's no hiding anywhere.
Yay! Good job, guys. You hit it well, you oligarchs.
Yeah, but let's slow down and look at this. Okay, so Marlene Usher has been a big proponent of Barbucci
Mhm.
and this whole fiasco. That's what it is
It is.
from the outset, right? And
Yeah.
she's saying that Cape Bretoners and our council should trust a convicted fraudster.
This is why I said that
Drop
they're
the
going
damn
by.
mic. Mic drop. Here, look, mic drop.
Yep, there we go.
Rod, he might change. He's going to take the best interest
No,
of the poor people. I mean, he has the best interest for us. He's not
No.
going to fuck us over like he did everybody else, like he did in Ontario. He's not going to do it like he did up in Quebec. We're Cape Breton. He's not. He's going to be ethical now. He
No.
promised. He promised he would help us, Rod.
no, he's the worst of the human beings. Keep
All right,
going.
let's do with the slide.
It's even
Oh,
better.
Lord.
That's even better.
Okay. On the other hand, a Montreal-based reporter I spoke with earlier this year literally laughed out loud at the notion that a fine by the AMF was merely an administrative matter.
Yeah.
Then there's the case of the China Communications Construction Company. Say that 50 times fast, eh? What? CCCC.
Oh, my stomach is
Okay.
getting upset.
It's
Oh.
something, right? CCCC. Okay. Barbucci's first choice to design and build and take an equity stake in the container terminal project. China Communications Construction. Look at that. Soon after CCCC's involvement was announced, the Googlers got to work and discovered the firm had been barred for 8 years from participating in any road and bridge project financed by the World Bank Group for fraudulent practices under Phase 1 of the Philippines National Roads Improvement and Management Project.
So now we got a whole new country, an
What is
entire
going
new
on?
country saying he's a crook. But let's not listen to Ontario. Let's not listen to Quebec. Let's not listen to the Philippines either.
No. More importantly,
China.
the World Bank. The World
The
Bank.
World Bank. Very good point. Yes, it's the World Bank, really.
And guess
Okay,
who
so-
was the Googler? I got to take some credit here. Guess who the Googler
Yay!
was?
It was you and Rod.
Yay!
Go, Rod.
Good job, bye. Good job.
Yay!
All right.
Our
Okay,
hero.
Just to be clear, China has no monopoly on corruption in international construction. 4 years after CCCC was barred, Canada's SNC Lavalin, I think we all remember this one, got a 10-year ban for misconduct in relation to the Padma multi-purpose bridge project in Bangladesh, as well as misconduct under another bank finance project.
Shot.
What the frick is going on, right? That we just are why is this like so easy for them to do to us? Why are we always being like snowed by these politicians and these business people when they do something once?
Look,
Marie, they're really good at golf. I like them. We have great champagne and dinners together. Why wouldn't we want to do dealings with them? We don't really care about what the rest of the world and organizations and provinces really got to say about him. He's a good guy deep down.
no,
We're gonna harbor them here.
I'm gonna actually kind of try and defend our politicians.
Go ahead and try.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay, what it comes down to, right, is that I'm brushing stuff off my keyboard. What it comes down to is that, and this isn't really a defense of our politicians, is that they don't do their work. Okay,
Yeah.
if you are
They need to
living,
do homework.
ignorance is bliss, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you don't look into the background of the companies that you're dealing with or the companies that are proposed to you, and it's presented in a nice shiny package, right? Going back to the truck analogy, if you go to buy a truck off the lot, right,
Mhm.
and you go to buy the truck, and the salesman's like, "Oh, it's got an amazing cab package, and oh, look at the paint package, and oh, look at the chrome package, and oh, look at the lift kit." You're not going to look into the mileage or whether the transmission falls out of it in a week or anything like this. And that's what happens with our politicians.
Yeah.
Is that they're taking on face value what Barbucci
And what Marlene tells them too,
Yeah.
I think.
They're not doing their work or their
That's why I
research.
said before, I feel that they're just taking like what other people say and not even looking into anything themselves. They think
There's no critical
Marlene
thinking.
and them,
None.
right? Marlene and all of them have been trusting them, so we'll carry on. And for whatever reason, I don't know why they would have carried on with this 3-year extension. it seemed to me originally that the mayor looked like she was taking a hard hand with him, I thought. And then all of a sudden it was 3-year extension, and I almost dropped on the floor. I was like, why would this happen? Like, I don't understand it. And I'm not even anybody who is a politician.
I don't understand it either. Like, I have to say,
because it doesn't make business sense. It makes buddy sense. It's all about the buddy system. You're either in it or you're not.
It's not even that so much for me. It's more like, did you get lazy? Like, did you
got complacent and happy in your position and felt I'm doing a good job?
It's just they're following what they're being told by people in higher positions, and they're not following on their gut instinct, on things that they may have issues with. They're keeping them inside. They're not bringing them to the table because
like they're not paid to do that.
No,
they're not, and they're not just.
They need to be doing their work. They need to do it. They need to look into these people that we are going to be having contracts with. You can't just have a contract with somebody because somebody told you he's a good guy. You got to do your homework. And exactly right. I mean,
exactly. Do you like as homeowners or as renters or as someone that just goes buy toilet paper at Walmart?
Right.
What do you do? You know, like you just don't go buy the thinnest.
You just don't grab the first thing off the shelf
or whatever, right? Anyway, go for it, girls.
I agree.
I'm just rambling.
No, well, I think we're all just a little fed up with what we're reading because it's really clear when it's written out in front of you. But a lot of people don't know about it because a lot of people aren't reading Mary Campbell's articles. A lot of people don't pay attention to what is actually really happening on this island. They assume that those that are in power know what they're doing. They assume that they know the path that they're taking is correct.
Got it back to the article.
Yeah.
We're running out of time.
We got time, don't we? Yeah, we're good. We got 47 minutes.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Read.
Let me find this here. I blew it up by mistake, guys. Hang
it's
on.
Okay. Do your thing.
Yeah. So where are we?
It starts in 2018, the federal government.
Right.
Right above
federal government barred CCCC from taking over a Canadian construction company, citing national security, although it didn't elaborate on this rather vague concern. Neither development bothered the Port of Sydney CEO, according to the CBC. Usher said she doesn't have any specific concerns about the Chinese company and said further due diligence will be conducted before any final deal is struck. I do know that this company has a good reputation in construction, she said. They partnered on other projects internationally in Australia. So they had one good project, apparently, she saw, and then that was good enough for her. They have a very solid relationship with us. That very solid relationship has since dissolved.
Yeah.
Realized that we're stupid. Okay.
Go ahead.
It will be fascinating to see whether allegations of outright fraud, which bridging is facing, will make an impression where a breach of securities law and World Bank ban have failed to make the slightest dent.
Okay.
Okay, now.
No, we don't do that. That's okay. We don't have to do the housing rights stuff. No.
Okay, go ahead. Carry on.
Let's just review what we've learned today.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna open it up for a big discussion. Sorry to take reins here.
No, for sure, do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the biggest thing I wanted people to look at is the timeline. Okay, like when Barbucci presented to council and the whole in-camera meeting grab. Okay.
Yeah.
So these people were fined and put into receivership on April. What's my note say? April 30th.
Yeah.
Okay. So Barbucci has been presenting to council through May and into June. Okay. When was the decision made in council to actually renew this? Was it 2 weeks ago, a week ago? Something?
Yeah.
Well, they had another in-camera meeting just a week ago, right?
Yeah. So that had put it at, let me look at my notes again. That would put it at around, I'd say council meeting was on June 15th. Okay. So Barbucci, as a proponent, requested 2 in-camera meetings. Okay, two Two,
Yeah.
right?
2 secret meetings.
2 secret meetings, and call it like it is. 2 secret meetings so the public couldn't actually listen to or
Yes.
see what he was saying or call bullshit.
Right.
All right. So that was at that time, knowing that gotta go back here.
Yeah,
Knowing that Bridge Financing Corp had basically been in receivership
Mhm.
for close to a month at that point in time,
That's
and
right.
that their assets were frozen. He was
Yes.
pitching
They knew
with,
all
and
that.
there
They
was
had
money for the project. Okay, is that he was still pitching the council for him to get the 3-year extension.
Yeah.
Him knowing that. So, was any questions asked to Barbucci about financing or anything like that? Or did council just take it hook, line, and sinker that this guy is telling them the truth after it's been proven in court in front of a regulator in Quebec that he's a fraudster?
There's no way that any of them were able to have this information, because I would have a huge problem with any of my CBRM counselors or even mayor having these facts in front of them, knowing his way of doing business and
Yeah.
accepting
Yeah,
him
they couldn't
as
have known.
a year partner. I
Yeah.
would say they all would have to go if they knew any of this information, because
Obviously.
they're representing themselves and not the
I don't
people.
think they do.
Yeah, like the whole thing is you got to go back to it after everything that we've been learning about Albert Barbucci, about the way he conducts business. Are these people really that naive to keep? This is a rhetorical question for both of you, and I really want your feedback because my mind is blown. Are our counselors, and this goes to both of you, are our counselors that naive is my first question. And number 2, are they doing their work and due diligence?
I don't know. I mean, is it really our counselor's job to be doing the vetting these people they're doing the business with, or is it the chief administration officer, or is it the other people in other administrative roles? I don't know what their roles are, Rod. So in my mind, I'm going to think that the mayor should have been the one who looked into this, being the head of all the CBRM counselors. I'm going to let the counselors off the hook because I don't think it's their job. Their job is their constituents and getting the issues of their constituents. Go ahead, Marie.
Erlene McMullen is the one who questions, calls out continuously, is always wondering about what's going on. She doesn't seem to be getting the answers either. So something's going on that's very deep rooted over there. Maybe doesn't have anything to do with our mayor or anything, but the older people that seem to be always running the CBRM are the ones that seem to be the ones they are trusting. They trust what their elders are telling them. I think they trust what the people with experience are telling them.
Workers are telling them.
Senior, yes, they're senior ups is what.
Yes.
That usually is a problem. If you do not do your own research, you really do have to look up for yourself. I mean, I don't know why they would just agree and say, oh, okay, if you think this guy's good, we're going to go with this guy. It concerns me.
They're brainwashed. They've been, the information that they would really use to make a decision has been removed from them, and they're making a decision based on this pretty poster. It's a pretty poster. Albert Barbucci made this much money, that much money. He's done this many projects. He's helped this many places, but they're not showing that he's impacted that place and now he's under investigation. He's impacted that place, now he's under investigation. He's fucked over this country, now he's not even allowed to do business there. Let's not talk about that. That's not positive.
Well,
they've been snowed.
They've been.
I think
they have.
Albert Barbucci. Okay, is a speculator, and in another word, he's a carpetbagger. He shows up where people are desperate.
Yes.
Desperate, and he pitches them an idea and gets them to invest in it. And he looks to see how he can benefit. It's not the community, okay?
Oh God, no, we know that.
So he's done this, and how he's going to benefit from this. And this is here's my scenario, okay? So people hold on to your hats.
Okay.
Is that he's gonna take the property where, how long is this a lease at that property at Greenfield site? It's 100 years. He's going to take that property and he's going to flip it for a profit.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's my scenario.
I think you're right.
Who's going to make money and who's not going to make money?
CBRM.
No, the CBRM
Rhonda
is going to make money. He's going to make money by flipping his rights.
Yes.
So that's the way he's going to make money. He doesn't give two shits about the community. He's already demonstrated that in that little fiasco he's involved with Jean Chrétien about trying to dump nuclear waste into a community.
Oh my God, yes, that's another issue altogether. This fella is really a dirty little man, and this is why I'm like, I might get in trouble, but I've never heard of anything like this in my life.
Yeah,
he's like the slime of everything, and I'm like, why are we dealing with this person? And everybody's gonna be like, Marie, you shouldn't be saying that about Barbucci. And I got to tell you, I don't like you, Barbucci. I don't like what you're doing to our island.
No, exactly. He goes to a community that's desperate, pitches to the politicians that this is a great idea, and that's how he makes his money. He feeds off of desperation.
He does.
Okay,
and
for
we
our counselors and our administration to go along with this proven fraudster, it just shows negligence, lack of due diligence.
But the thing, let's make a backup here. Is there's been one particular player in administrative and in a big vital role in Cape Breton that's been part of organizations that have had shady shit. ECBC, ACOA, like they've all had people run through them that have been shady. So what do? We promote them and let them run a port.
Yeah. A good way not to say a name, Janet. Very good. You're doing, good way.
Teach me, boss.
Right. It's very important. All right. So basically, we have our counselors and our mayor now and our administrative officers of the CBRM backing a fraudster.
Backing a fraudster, exactly. And what we've done today is led all the lines showing this fraudster. And again, he's also trying to revamp our rail lines.
Oh my God, that's another. Yes, we're gonna have to look into that maybe next week, guys. Maybe the rail lines next week. I don't know.
Mary's got more juicy tidbits for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Do you guys got anything to close up? But we got 3 more minutes to kill here.
Yeah. Okay. What I want people to know about this project and about what we learned about Bridge Finance Incorporated is that they are the chief financer for this project. And guess what? They have no money. And in fact, the company is going to be dissolved. So there's no money for this port project.
They've frozen the assets of Sharp, and Sharp was the financer. How are they going to get anything further if everything's frozen?
It's over.
$1 million yesterday isn't going to be part of let's figure out how we can get that money somewhere else. I hope not.
This is over. Okay?
Yep. Should be the end of that. It should have been over a long time ago.
Over. Okay?
That ship should have sailed so long ago. It should have sailed with friggin' Cecil.
Yeah.
Where is Cecil? Where is Cecil?
We need a meme. Where is Cecil? It's like, where's Polo now?
And here's my last parting point. Send me another damn email, fool. Here's my damn component from Canada.
Exactly.
Send me another email.
Yeah. Right?
Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, dear God. Guys, thanks for tuning in. If you liked our show, please share it because the only way...
Share it a lot. This is the best
one. Share it a lot.
Right? Share it a lot. Share it often. Share it a lot. Like our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Cape Breton Original. The more we can get this out in the public, the more people are going to see about the shady shysters running about trying to control our sea. Let's not let them. We know what's going on. Prove it. Show them your care. Share this shit.
Share it.
Share it, and let's talk about it, and let's bring it out in the open immediately because this keeps happening.
Yeah.
Cape Breton Island needs us more than it ever has. We got to take the reins back and get the
CBRM counselors, do your job. Mayor, do your job.
Do your job.
Due diligence.
Research.
We can show you how, and Mary Campbell will even more. All right, guys. It's been a great show. Mary Campbell, Cape Breton Spectator. Thanks again for your great journalism.
Yes, thank you, Mary.
Without
Don't
Mary,
drive the shiny truck off the lot.
That's right.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Thanks for
coming on here, Rhonda.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Marie.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.